Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is March the 5th, early evening here in the East Coast, United States. It's already March the 6th in the early morning hours there in Ukraine. And tonight I'm coming to you with some breaking news, the second video of the day, because just a little while ago, two key things have happened that I think the world really needs to pay attention to. Number one, of course, President Emmanuel Macron, Vive la France, has given a masterclass on how you deal with a dictator, how you deal with a terrorist. And of course, I'm referring to Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin there in the Kremlin. Interesting, coming the night after President Trump's address, and they're not connected, of course. This is President Macron on television addressing France, but the reality is now through media, he's addressing not only France, but the European Union, the United States, Russia, Ukraine, the entire world. And I so hope that Donald Trump and his team has heard what Emmanuel Macron has just said a couple of hours ago. Tonight, I'm going to be giving you a couple of snippets of him translated into English for you to hear. And additionally, I'm going to give you every key point of his statement. We're talking about this is how you do it. And you can see the thumbnail. Excusez-moi, Mr. Trump. But this is how you lead. This is how you do it. And I'm telling you right now, we are seeing a further deterioration of relationships between the United States and basically everywhere else in the world. Let's just call it the way it is. Canada, Mexico, Greenland, Panama, Europe, Ukraine. The only one it seems that the U.S. may be getting closer to is Russia. I mean, honestly, and of course, the support for Israel. I don't know who he called out South Korea last night, our ally and our friend, in his address there in the Congress. Tonight, President Macron getting it done and showing how you lead in a war. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and call it. We're in World War III, and it has many different faces right now. Before I jump into that, I want to share breaking news out of Kryvyi Rog, out of a Kryvyi Rih. Sorry, I learned Russian first, then working on Ukrainian. Out of Kryvyi Rih tonight, we have a ballistic missile strike, two ballistic missiles hitting Hotel Centralna. This is a beautiful hotel right there in downtown Kryvyi Rih. Zhenya, my teams have stayed in this hotel many, many times. It's in a beautiful part of town. I can 100% confirm to you guys that there are no military targets anywhere near this. There are no governmental buildings anywhere near this. It is a beautiful hotel, restaurant complex. You can see it there lit up, and it says Hotel Centralna. Two ballistic missiles as of right now. 2 people have been killed, 28 wounded, and they are still digging out of the rubble. So why on earth cannot Donald Trump, the team, and those that are right now fighting against Ukraine not recognize that Russia is the terroristic regime? They're slinging missiles at hotels in Kryvyi Rih. Is it making a statement? Of course, you guys know. If you do not know, this is the hometown of President Vladimir Zelensky. So that is the before picture, and this is the after picture. 2 ballistic missiles coming in, and unfortunately, it is a horrible scene of tragedy unfolding right now in Kryvyi Rih. Let's remember those dear people and rescue workers in our thoughts and prayers tonight. Now, moving on to President Emmanuel Macron, Vive la France. Excusez-moi, Mr. Trump, but this is how you lead. I want to first play one little video clip, then I'm going to give you the details of what he said, and then I'm going to conclude with a final video clip from Macron, just happening just within the last couple of hours. So here's the first one. Listen to this. He's not afraid to call it the way it is. This is black and white, and it's not gray.
By 2030, Russia aims to mobilize 3 million more troops and add 4,000 tanks to its arsenal. Who knows if Russian aggression in Ukraine will ever stop? Could Russia become a threat to Europe? I believe peace will eventually come to our continent when Russia becomes peaceful. But the situation I'm describing now is dangerous.
Peace will come to Europe. Peace will come to the world when Russia becomes peaceful. And unfortunately, the timing of the ballistic missile strike on Kryvyi Rih, basically about the same time or just a little after Macron was speaking, shows. He says Russia is dangerous. He's not afraid to call it out. Mr. Trump last night, never calling out who the aggressor is, never calling out who the invader is. And I just remind you, it was just a little over a week ago that it was Zelensky that was the dictator. No, Macron calling it the way it is. It's black and white. What else did he say? And then I'll give you the second piece of the video clip I have for you. He said, Europe is entering a new era. The threat from the Russian Federation is spreading to us all. The Russian Federation may not stop only in Ukraine. See, this is completely going against the MAGA narrative that says, oh, you guys are just smoking something out there. It's just a regional conflict there where Russia is taking back some of their territory for their people that speak their language and their culture, you know, the Donbass and Novorossiya. No, 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 no. This is an act of aggression where Vladimir Putin wants to rebuild the Soviet Union. This has been in development since the late 50s, the propaganda war, and you guys know it step by step by step. And Macron calling it out. It will spread to Europe. He says by 2030, the Russian Federation wants to mobilize an additional 3 million soldiers. Do you understand now why Zelensky keeps saying we must have a strong army? Right now, Ukraine's army about 800,000 strong, and they are going to produce an additional 4,000 tanks. Additionally, guys, Russia already on a war economy. They are outproducing everybody right now, hand over fist, at the same time filling their coffers with South Korean equipment, Iranian drones, and blood money from around the world. The current situation due to the action of the Russian Federation is very dangerous for us. We will continue to help Ukraine achieve peace and listen on its own terms. No, Mr. Trump, you cannot dictate the peace for Ukraine. Peace cannot be concluded on the terms of the Russian Federation. I remind you, earlier in the earlier video today, I was sharing with you guys that Lukashenko there in Minsk was telling the world that he would host the negotiations and invite Zelensky, Trump, and Putin to beautiful Minsk. No, no, no. Peace is not going to be concluded on the terms of the Russian Federation, and definitely not sitting in the city of Minsk. How did that work out before? Terribly. What else did he say? We cannot trust Russia. It violated the Minsk agreements. Point blank, we cannot trust Russia. But what does Trump say? Trump says, oh, Putin's a good negotiator. Putin is a man of his word. Putin has not went against his word. Putin is honorable. No, Macron says, we cannot trust Russia. He says we need to prepare for the fact that the United States may not be on our side. Call it, Macron. Call it, sir. Kudos to you. Viva la France. Thank you. And I am a red-blooded American. I love my country. I'm a conservative American, but I stand against this MAGA trash that is filthily invading the very bloodlines of our nation. It's a tragedy. Peace cannot be signed in Washington or Moscow. Period. We will strengthen the army of Europe. We will defend ourselves. We will produce a lot of weapons so that Ukraine and we are not dependent on others. Direct statement to the United States. We will produce a lot of weapons so that Ukraine and we are not dependent on others. What else did he say? We will invest a lot of money in defense. Important decisions will be made in the coming days. The U.S. may increase tariffs against the EU. Oh, you can go ahead and put that in the bank probably if things continue the way they are, President Macron. I hope we can convince Trump to be on our side. I hope. Good luck on that. I hope you can too. We have prepared a plan for peace in Ukraine. Direct statement against the Trump administration, who says they will develop the peace plan for Ukraine. We know that Starmer, Macron, European Union, European leaders, Zelensky working on a peace plan. Kudos. Kudos. That's how you're supposed to do it. And he opened the door. I decided to start a discussion about France's use of nuclear weapons to defend the entire European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, the stakes were raised this evening with President Emmanuel Macron telling the truth, calling it as it is. Russia, not trustworthy. Russia breaks every agreement. Russia is the terrorist nation, and we must assist and defend ourselves and stand and support Ukraine until they want to determine peace on their own terms. Viva la France. Here is his second statement that I translated for you.
Keep helping Ukraine stay strong in talks with Russia so they can achieve peace on their own terms. This matters to both them and us. Peace can't come at any cost. Peace can't mean Ukraine's surrender or destruction. We can't accept an unstable truce as peace. Remember, Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014. We signed Minsk agreements which Russia broke. Russia violated those agreements. They failed to keep their promises. We can't trust Russia's word anymore. Ukraine deserves security and peace, which benefits Europe too. We're working with allies like the UK and Germany on this.
Powerful, powerful statements there, as I shared with you, broken out, and then you heard Macron translated and stating it himself. They break agreements, they're untrustworthy, and we cannot allow Ukraine to surrender or capitulate. We're standing with Ukraine. President Macron, thank you for those powerfully bold statements. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're at tonight. Really breaking powerful news tonight, the statements of Macron. At the same time, the ballistic missiles flying into Kryvyi Rih, a very tragic and sad situation. Thank you for being here. We're growing quickly. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting. I think we need 3 more people to join the Discord, and it'll be over 500, and that's awesome. Our guys in there work so hard to make it a wonderful, really family type atmosphere for encouragement and sharing and working together to stand for Ukraine. We have a great moderator team. You guys be blessed. We'll be back. Who knows when? Make sure you have the notification bell on, because when things happen that I think need to be shared that are very important, the video will come or we'll even go live. You guys be blessed and have a good night.